How about now? There we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If there's any new people, I invite you to raise your hand. Oh, wonderful. Doug, I'll hand you a little gift from back there. Right here, in the front. Now we know. I'd like to invite everybody. If you need a tour of the grounds today, it's a beautiful day to do that, and we have a wonderful tour that we can give you of our grounds. We will be opening with a song by the Heart Sangha Choir.
We're about to take our summer break. So this is our offering that we hope will last throughout the hot months, and we'll return in fall. If you feel like you're a member of the Heart Sangha Choir, that if you feel like you want to stand and sing with us, do reach out to me. I'll be here a little bit after, and I think we have sign-up sheet, but communicate your desires, and they will be granted. All right. And tell a friend, yeah. Lindy. Judy had to be out today, so we're just thinking of her, but we're so grateful to have our illustrious, multi-talented sound tech, yes, booth operator, smooth operator.
Thank you, guys. Hello? Is it on? Okay. It seems like they always put me up here when the choir's here, and I just don't feel comfortable coming up after that. But hey, I'm going to do my best. Another thing real quick, like you'll see me standing like this, kind of, if you see that. That's because I have to get lower enough to read what they want me to have. So if you see me doing that, that's why. So I'm Christy Carr, and I want to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living, where, can you all see it? Yep. Okay. Where we inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling life. Okay, I heard it here, but I didn't really hear it here. Let's try it again. Our vision. We inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. Okay, I'll take that, thank you. So the practitioner in service today is me and Mary. And we'll be available to do prayer service after the service by the bell over here. Focus announcements. Now, Shems wanted to come up and do a little announcement real quick, and then I will do the rest.
Good morning, everybody. In the back table over there, you'll find a little diorama that I made that gives you an idea of what we're looking at developing this little area out here for as a memorial garden. So I'd like you to look at it and play with it, because it's kind of like a little dollhouse. So we can imagine ourselves in it and play with it. And if you have any comments at all about it, or any suggestions on what might make it a little more intimate, a little more of a memorial garden, someplace where we can sit with friends and talk quietly. So take a little time after the service and check it out. There's also a sketch I did, of a rough sketch of how the bird sanctuary area could look. Okay? Yeah.
He's put a lot of time on that. So go take a look at it. Hang on, let me get my stance right now. Down low. All right. Again, with Shems, he's having a Speak Your Truth poetry night on Friday, May 23rd, from 7 to 9 p.m. This is where we invite you to come read your poetry, read a song, anything you want, a speech. We don't care. Just come on in. Share what you want. And if you don't want to, come anyway. Support your talkers, your speakers, excuse me. Next is the Soar Spirit Adventure Renewed. They're going to McLeod this time for the 21st Annual Mushroom Festival. There'll be music, there'll be art, there'll be, wine. There you go. And it's an adventure for y'all to get together and get outside and get some fresh air. On Friday, May 30th, from 6:30 to 8, we have Dance Church, and that's with our dear friend Dawn. I don't see her today. Dawn. She got married yesterday. What's her last name now? Mom. So what's her new last name? Dawn Clevin now. Our dear Dawn, how exciting. So Friday, May 30th from 6:38. Come. This is the best spiritual dance you'll ever do. She puts headphones on you. You only hear what she says through your earphones. Everybody closes their eyes, and it's just this wonderful self-expression, dancing with the Spirit. must come at least once. Come try it. Then we have the Moon Circle with Lori Buckman on Saturday, May 24th from 6:30 to 8:30. She has a maximum of 15 people, and now the men are welcome to join. So we're looking forward to that, and again, that's on Saturday, May 24th. And next week is our Friendship Sunday, and we invite everybody to bring in a dish if you'd like, share your dishes. It's kind of a potluck kind of thing. So our little stuff after church. That's it. Okay, who's doing the talk? The reading? Oh, the reading? Oh, forget it. Forget the reading. So, I guess we'll invite the bell 3 times. Skip all that other stuff. We're working with it, hey. I'm going to do 3 bells, and I'll do a treatment for you, and we'll invite Mary up. Beyond all appearances, there is only one, called many names: love, Allah, Buddha, God. I call it Spirit. It is one source of all life, actively and everywhere, at all times. It is divine expression of all that is. I am created out of this divine essence. It runs in me and throughout everything and everyone. In this sacred moment of now, I speak my word for everyone here and online, allowing everything occupying our minds to fade away. And as we allow ourselves to be right here, right now, stirring within us reminds us of who we are, allowing Spirit within us to guide us on a path of right and good. Layers of limitation diminish as we align with Spirit as Spirit. It individualizes itself as compassion, unconditional love, and peace. We live and love fully and completely as an expression of God. Our heart light illuminates the path. As we express, we circulate love and light and peace to everyone we meet today and always. I express gratitude for this truth as I live by spiritual principles. I release my word into perfect manifestation. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Reverend Mary.
Good morning. You didn't expect me, did you? Today, Reverend Andy was coming from Chico. And I know a lot of you really love listening to him. I always do. I've admired him for years because he's a really deep thinker, and Luana, our minister from Hawaii, good to see you, sweetheart. Oh, how sweet. Say hi to that one. She's awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, anyway, we're talking about Reverend Andy. And his talks always open my heart because he always has these stories that are just magnificent and really apply what he's trying to share with you. So we look forward to the next time that he can come. Darn it. The reason he's not here is his wife passed this week. His wife passed this week. They were soulmates, just incredible soulmates. So if he's watching this morning, and I hope he is because he knows I'm taking his place this morning, I asked Joey to pan the crew and everyone and say, Andy, bless you. Turn around to the camera. We bless you, we give you our prayers, our love. And for Judy, we know her ongoing adventure is full of ease and grace because she's in a universe supported by the love of God. Thank you. Sue asked me to do this today because she's in a bit of overload, if you can imagine, with the holistic fair, with the parking lot sale, and guess what, Loana? Our parking lot sale made $10,000. It was just amazing. But she had to do 2 weddings yesterday, too. So she said, Mary, please, can you do this? I went, of course I can. And since I recently lost my husband, I'm a good fill-in today, I think. The title of this talk is Negotiating Peace. Now, it's based on the Science of Mind magazine this month on negotiating peace. And it's not with, a car salesman when you're trying to buy a car. It's negotiating peace within yourself. And sometimes we're grieving a loss of a pet, a loss of a friend, a loss of a favorite TV show. I mean, it could be anything. But we find ourselves in a sense of grief that we're missing something that we had before. And so that emotion we feel needs some attention. And recently, I started a grief support group. Reverend Kathleen has started. Love you, dear. And I couldn't shake this grief. For 4 months, I had an upset stomach. I was sick to my stomach every day. And then we got this wonderful book that she picked, and the first sentence cleared it for me. Some call grief a journey. I call it a quest. Grief stuns us, and we quickly surrender to isolation, disbelief, and uncertainty. From that moment on, we're on a search for help to survive and reassurance that we're not crazy. And boy, that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. I get really flaky when that happens. And so that really cleared it for me. I'm on a search. I'm on a quest to find out what's going to fill my heart space, and make me move forward in a new way. This gentleman who wrote this book is known as one of the top grief counselors in the whole country. And Kathleen picked this book. It's Understanding Your Grief, but it also comes with a workbook that says, okay, you read that, now answer some questions here. And sometimes in the group I'll go, no, I'm not going to answer that one. I can't yet, or something like that. And so it's very interesting. And last class, we had to write a letter from ourselves to our loved one that passed. How are we doing right now? And then we had to write a letter from them to us, how they're doing right now. Whoa, that took some meditation. But the key point of what I wrote is what I heard, because Paul's appeared to me twice. But anyway, he said, Mary, if I could explain to you what I'm experiencing in this universe, you would be speechless for 3 days. It's that great. It's that great. Yeah. Then I decided, okay, let's go away from that and let's talk to the big know-it-all in our lives, AI intelligence. Now, I wish it had a better name because I always go A1 steak sauce. I don't know if you do that. It's an Ohio thing, I think. But so now when I write A1, I write capital A and then E-Y-E, so I don't screw it up. I do not want to show disrespect to something that may be looking at everything I ever write down. So AI says this about negotiating peace. It involves structured discussions with whoever you're discussing with, even if it's yourself. And it requires compromise, even with ourselves. Compromise between the conflicting thoughts we have. Should I go here? Should I go there? Should I move? Should I do this? What should I do? Maybe I want to move or change jobs or do anything. There's some conflict there that you're not sure. And you really have to sometimes compromise, but reach a peaceful conclusion so it addresses all the points in whatever you're negotiating with yourself or others, so that you don't walk away or go away feeling like it has not been totally addressed. So what the goal is to reduce conflict, disagreement, and we want to foster trust and mutual understanding. Now, sometimes that's with family members, isn't it? Yeah. So it's a process that requires dialogue and compromise. It's a process that has key principles called impartiality and confidentiality. It requires confidence building. If you're negotiating with someone else, it requires having confidence in them and reducing tension. And sometimes, if it's a family issue, mediation comes in, a third party who can help make this happen. Help us listen to each other when we don't want to. I remember that one. And it includes drafting an agreement on how we're going to do this peace thing. Sometimes for family members, that means a contract with an attorney. For me as a negotiator in business, it means a contract between the two parties so that we're both really clear what we're doing. And how do we handle changes when the people in this negotiation move, pass on, or say, I'm giving it up, I'm not going to do it. So all these things can happen. You know, I've been so fascinated recently on so many countries wanting to negotiate with the U.S. and the U.S. inviting people to negotiate. I was watching the Saudi Arabia visit the other day, if you didn't see that, and as the U.S. motorcade comes into the town, 100 camels are running beside the motorcade. I was just enthralled with that. And then he goes into the whole U.S. delegation goes into this magnificent place, and there's 150 swordmen with their swords doing all this stuff. And then all these ladies who usually wear burqas have their heads off, their hair is down to their waist, and in unison, they're swishing their hair. Now, for most men, I would think that would be a turn-on if you're in Saudi Arabia, but it was beautiful to watch, the whole place with women swishing their hair. It was really incredible. So I was thinking, driving in this morning, okay, when they come over here, what are we going to do? I'm thinking, cowboys on horses. And then when you come up to the White House, have a league of women doing line dancing. I'd volunteer for that, actually. So anyway, it's fun to think of that. At the same time, I have a very wonderful friend who's going through a very challenging time, going through court battle after court battle, because there was a divorce with her children, and one parent doesn't want the other parent to see their own children. Well, they're both saying, no, ain't gonna happen. How hard is that for grandparents? It's extremely hard. So I pray a lot with her, because it's very gut-wrenching when you really want to be with your children and grandchildren. Now, I've been negotiating in business for a long time, and it really requires being honest and very sincere. And sometimes when you're in the business situation, that may not be what you find, but for me, that was critical, to being honest and sincere, to be open to listening to what they want versus what my goal is. It doesn't mean that I have to surrender, but I have to present a case so good that they go, oh, I get it now. Okay, you can have whatever you're buying for the price that you want. I was really successful with that. And I don't know why I'm sticking this in here, but I'm facilitating a memoir class. Oh, I know why, yeah. I'm facilitating a memoir class, and we write about our experiences in life, and I have some of them with being in business. And it's so wonderful because we laugh hard, we cry hard. Everybody's gotten something and done something in life or had experiences that they share that are so powerful, they're life-changing. And I'll be starting a new class June 15th if you're interested in participating in that. It's really wonderful. But so my memoir is about the 10 years in the 1980s when I bought wood chips, waste wood, bark from sawmills for the paper mills, 2 paper mills, to make paper, and the bark was for power. And so I had all of Puget Sound, including British Columbia. The 80s, and I've researched this because I thought it couldn't have been as bad as I imagined, could it? I said, yes, the 80s were the most volatile times in those 2 industries in the whole century. And I go, okay, that's why I was almost going crazy. Because as soon as something changed, the sawmills had great lumber market, but they couldn't get enough logs because the loggers weren't logging. And then they had all these chips that the paper mills couldn't sell their paper, and it was just very, very volatile. I had 60 to 80 suppliers, and it came to the point where I had to renegotiate our contract every 3 months. And that meant looking at least 15 things in the industry, in the market. How many people had logs to make lumber out of? How many had chips they couldn't use? How many chips went export? What came import from Canada? And all this busy stuff. So that when I went in to negotiate with someone, I'd say, here's what I believe the market did. That's why your price has to go down $10 a ton. And I better be right. And I usually was. In fact, I have 3 bottles of Crown Royal, 5 bottles of Crown Royal. I bet my cohorts at the home office that I could lower the price 30% one time. And they said, no, you'll never do it. Well, I did. I did. Okay. At one point, I had to hire a log buyer because logs are a whole different lingo. I mean, you just don't automatically know how to deal with logs. And so I checked around and I hired a log buyer that had 3 good references from the industry. And so I hired him, and we, I thought I better go with him on his first 2 negotiations. And so I did, and I was horrified. We walked into this manager's office, and he was at his desk, and on the back wall, the whole wall was covered with his fishing trips, his fish that he caught. Pictures of big fish, small fish, fishing everywhere. And the log buyer went, man, where's that stream? And I thought, oh, you blew it. You ignore those things if you're negotiating. It's like they don't even exist. Why? Because that man was expecting just what my log buyer did. And then you get off track, and then this guy tells you great stories, and you think he's so smart that what does he want from me? And by the time their back and forth went on, I could see my log buyer was ready to give in. And I said, by the way, we have another appointment. We have to leave, and we'll come back. And he was a little ticked with me, but I had to do that. I had to stop. No, we want to pay this price. He wanted us to pay this, and we're not going there. So I learned real quickly that when you have someone that's trying to intimidate you, whether it's at a car lot or a bank or anywhere you go, just ignore that. Get right back to business, and you'll be safe, and things turn out really well. So what I did with my log buyer is I went home and I went, good grief, how did I learn to do this? So I wrote up a bunch of things, and I put together a little booklet called The Plain Vanilla Approach to Negotiation, with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on the front. It's simple. It was for me. And it had the 10 tips in negotiation in it. And I have some on the back counter where the board member sits if anybody's interested. But he put it all to use, and in no time at all, he became really, really, really good at negotiation. So over time, over time, several people in the industry, and exactly a friend of mine gave it to a professor at Stanford who teaches negotiation, and said, "What do you think of this?" And he goes, "There's some ideas there I never thought of." I thought, that's good, that's good. So when you walk into someone's office, there's these things that immediately go to the person's ego. It may be on their desk, on their walls, or the way they dress, and you don't want to admire their wall of awards. I've seen people with awards all over their wall. It's like, hey, look at me. No, I'm not going to look at you. I'm going to tell you what I want. And so that happens. And then when they think they're better than you and they know better than you, you know that they aren't prepared for a negotiation because the ego is so big. So I invite you to consider in your life, is there any place in your life where sitting down and talking to someone and coming to an agreement on anything is holding you back? You don't want to do it. But there's a way to do it with respect, love, just a lot of being on the same page with them. You need to get on the same page and really share your heart with them. I went into this. Here's an example, and it's kind of funny, but it's not funny, but it's real. The first time I visited this one sawmill when I came to California, I was ushered into the manager's office. Now, that's not usually how that happens. And I walked in there, and it was fairly dark. And the manager was behind his massive wooden desk, and you can sit there across from his desk. Okay. First thing I noticed is I was looking at him like this because he had me positioned 6 inches lower than his eye level. Intimidation, yeah. So I immediately noticed that, and I started looking around, and there was every kind of African animal head on the wall that you could imagine. Low lighting, animal heads. Good God, it was scared the average person. I'm just ignoring it. So I didn't say a thing. And I looked at him, and he's thinking, this isn't going to work. Well, Mary, why don't we go sit in the corner where I have 2 chairs and a table in between, and then we can, be a little closer and talk. That's a good idea. So we went over there and sat down, and on the table was a lamp made out of a zebra leg. He thought, this will get her. No, I totally ignored it. So I had the advantage, and I immediately went back to business. I'm here to talk about your wood chips, and here's what I'm willing to pay because of A, B, C, and D. And he realized I'm not going to get anywhere with this gal. And so we became good business people with each other, and I had his business for a long, long time. But I always think about that, and you don't have to go through people's office horror or their great stories or anything if you stick with the business, and it brings them right back to the business negotiating table. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you because wherever you are in your own life and you're hesitant to say, this is what I want, I know what you want, now we have to find a way to come together. It's very possible. So the chapter on understanding our grief in the book is, where are you in negotiating? And the chapter on understanding has some very important points to think about. We may think if we feel a lot of grief and we can't seem to get out of it, like I did a few months ago, that it's time to negotiate with God or somebody, some other higher power. But in our philosophy, it calls us to look at the law of cause and effect. What are we holding on to that maybe isn't true, or that we should move on from, or we should get some advice from Sue or someone we trust who really has a good sense of how the law of cause and effect really works. The author also suggests there's ripple effects that go on. For example, feeling a loss of self, where we might have to rethink our role with the person who may be divorcing themselves from our life, or move out of town and you never hear from them again, and you go, whatever happened to my best friend? All these things, there's things to think about when we lose self-confidence. Are they not calling me because they didn't need me anymore in their life? I have this wonderful friend Paul and I were good friends with them when they were in Sacramento. Her husband died. She moved to Portland to be with more family. And every month she sends me a card, and it says, Mary, when I was at this point, here's what I was dealing with. I hope you find help and confidence in yourself to move past that. She's just right on the money. And I'm just so tickled because you feel really alone. And sometimes we need to be supported physically and walking. Some of you know Reverend Sharon Kennedy. She's a minister. We walk occasionally, and it's been a couple weeks now, but she is so good at just calming me down and helping me see straight. So it's really good to move away from that emotional upheaval. And it means that, the dreams we had a year ago, now what? We had these great dreams, now what? Now it's me and the cats. And the cats don't care, they just want me home every day. But so it's fun to think about the future, and I really try not to, because I have a beautiful home, I don't have to sell it, I'm fine with money, I'm fine with friends, fine with this beautiful center and all the people in it. So what comes next, I don't know, but I'm open. Why not just be open? So the key to moving through all these feelings is to be open to the change, whether it's good change or a loss of something in our life, and to experience it in the now moment. Boy, you just want to take yourself back 6 months and go, oh, that now moment. No, this is the now moment. This is the now moment. Those are nice things that happen, but the future is open. And so being in now is the most important place to be. And to give our full attention to our intuition. And that is so important to me because I said before, sometimes I get this voice that just about slams me upside of the head and goes, that's not right, it's this, it's that. You've already done that, quit worrying about it. And so I wait for those moments. I've also had, I told you about the camera moment with Paul, but I had 2 redwood trees taken down recently because they were lifting my driveway up. And I thought, oh. So these 2 gentlemen, neighbors, said, oh, we'll cut them down for you. And so I sat in the garage in a chair and watched them. And I looked down and there was a penny on the floor. And I thought, a penny? Oh, I'll pick it up. Took it in, put it on the dining table. The next morning there were 2 pennies. In the middle of the night that night, I got up and I said, what if they were the same year? And I jumped out of bed. No, they weren't. 2 pennies. And last Monday when we did the Homeless Connect and we were giving shoes away to the homeless, we had about 150 pair and left with only about 12. They were so grateful. So I'm getting all the boxes out and that only had shoes in them. And the bottom of this one box is 2 dimes. 2 cameras, 2 pennies, 2 dimes. I'm like, okay, bring it on. I'm excited about this just little connection that I'm still around. I'm still around. So it's really beautiful. So it's integrating change into our lives without the pain of grief. There's no reason to grieve it because it's here for a reason. And it's here to help us move on in life. And I'll tell you, this philosophy is the best thing that could ever happen to me because it keeps me centered. I know how to ground myself when I myself get out of control, but I know how to ground myself, and I know the prayers to say and the prayers to write. And so I encourage you to do that because in this book it says, without the pain of grief, there is no such thing as the joy of love. Contrast, grief and love. And Albert Einstein said, we have to do the best we can. This is our sacred human responsibility. And I agree with him 100%, and so it is. So join me in this prayer. Oh, Lindy. Huh? Just go ahead and do it. Bless your heart. It's one of those days, isn't it? Anything can happen to you. I love that. There is only one thing going on here, and that is the love of God expressing through every one of us, physically present and not physically present, but still a soul on a journey. And I honor that in my life. The people that have gone before that just remind me of who they are and remind me that I'm loved. And then I remember them and how much I love them. And it's all my relatives and friends who have gone before. And then I think of all the people in my life now that I dearly love and who are so compassionate with me and check in, how's it going? It's going good. And so I know in your life, anywhere that needs a little sense of negotiation, of bringing out the truth of your thought, your truth, your thought, and negotiating with someone for a happy ending, for whatever reason it is. And I know you can do it. It's easy when we say it's easy. And it's easy when we know we have the love of God behind us and our great soul that's watching us. And it's not just AI. Anyway, I release these words to the universe because that's where we are, knowing we are all loved beyond belief. And that's the truth. And so it is. Thank you.
The Heart Sangha Choir, with the help of Lindy, will now offer hymn from Finlandia. And I just want to invite everyone to take a moment to think of all of the nations that are struggling and in turmoil, and to sit a little with the realization that we're here. We're so fortunate to have some peace around us in our local community. And especially when thinking of blessing the nations, I'm holding our community in Mexico in my heart, because I heard of a very upsetting accident that occurred last night with a Navy ship from Mexico that had an accident and floated into the Brooklyn Bridge. And so I'm thinking of all of the young cadets. It was wonderful. It was a goodwill tour that this ship was taking with a lot of young cadets in practice. And so I'm thinking of them, and I'm thinking of their families, and wishing them healing, peace, and comfort. So now I'll offer him.
in. I come after them. Okay. Can I have the ushers come forward, please? As I prepare to give my offering, my heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what I offer here is for my spiritual well-being. I am filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all
Come on up.
that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so
I give thanks for the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week. I know each dollar supports the spiritual family in many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that this center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is.
Lindy and I were just smiling about just how precious Judy is. Yes. I think, she's just sort of there in the background, keeping everything moving through sound. We really appreciate. If Judy's watching today, Judy! Yay, Judy! So we prepared some different pieces, but as it turns out, sometimes, plans change. And I think this will be lovely. We have wonderful suggestion. We set aside a piece that we developed so that we could sing as a congregation. So we're going to sing, and you're welcome to stand or sit as you're comfortable or as you desire to sing This Little Light of Mine, and then we'll sing the peace song together. So we hope you have a beautiful day again from the Hartsonga Choir. Thank you for a wonderful season. Thank you to the choir. We'll see you next time.
Back there, if you would like to sign them, and we'll send them to him, knowing we love him and care for him at this time.
Was that that young man who came around? You know, one thing I was real sad about today was when you're talking out, we cannot understand. You know, and struggling to understand what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying about Italian. Make sure there's no there. Right. But it really be nice because it's a common problem for people in the middle of the process. Yeah, we can't.
Thank you.
I wanted to say congratulations. An extension of families. It was